Hey friendos, today we're going to be talking about the Moza Air Gimbal and whether or not it's right for you. So this is the first generation of the Moza Air. It carries a payload of 7 pounds. It weighs 2.4 pounds. So a lot of the new gimbals like the Ronin-s and the Moza Air 2 and different gimbals like that, the Crane 2, they all weigh a lot more, the actual gimbal. Like the Ronin-s I think is over 4 pounds, just the gimbal. I'm looking for a kind of a travel gimbal, so I tried this one out. I did contact Moza and they sent me this one on a discount. I still had to pay for it and still had the opportunity to return it, so this is my honest review. I've had a few different gimbals in the past. So far, this one is the one I like the most, honestly. The last gimbal that I had was the Favtech A1000, and I liked it, but I felt like it was a lot more finicky in my movements. It wasn't as forgiving. I tried tuning it in the app, and everything I did with it, it always would kind of give me more of twitching motions than I could really deal with. So with this gimbal, I feel like it smooths out a lot of those things. It holds my Canon M50 no problem. I did add a quick release. This is by Slick. It's a DQ10. These things are super tiny. I love these ones. I can still open my battery door on my Canon and get to my SD card or my battery without having to take the plate off. I took this on a trip to Reno, Nevada with me. Went to Lake Tahoe. Performed great. I'll show you what you'll get with it. This is the box that it actually comes in, just the cardboard box, right? I'm gonna spare you the unboxing, but it comes with this big old Pelican case. So it's cool, it latches, it's very robust, and it's got holes for everything. Now the thing about this is, for one, this thing is huge if you're taking this on a trip. I don't know. It's maybe if you're a professional, if you're going to shoot a wedding or something, you're gonna use this. But you do have to take the gimbal apart. So the gimbal actually unscrews in the handle here, and you can take this base part off. And you have to do that each time you put it in here. I also added this tripod foot. Mine didn't come with one. Some do, some don't, I think. This one's by Kingjoy. I'll link it down in the description. It's all metal, and it works out great. It's really sturdy to hold it. And then a little trick you can do is if you pull one out, I slip 2 of these through my belt right on the front, and you can kind of relax for a second. And it'll take a lot of the weight off your hand if you need to just chill for a moment. You don't want to set this on the ground. This thing works out great, sets up quickly, boom, done. So this is just way too big for me. So I made a camera insert and gimbal insert for my backpack. I'll link that video down in the description as well. It's a long video, but it does go step by step through everything. So with the gimbal, you get some accessories with it. You get a bunch of cords. Now, none of these worked with my M50, but I think that's because my M50 is more of an entry-level camera. I think also because it's a newer camera, it didn't connect to an older gimbal, but that's okay. But you've got Sony cables, Canon cables, and I think you can get other cables, and that'll allow you to like take a photo using the gimbal, start and stop recording. I don't mind just reaching up and hitting the record button, so that's how I've been doing it. Also with the gimbal, you do get obviously a charger, so this is a con to this gimbal for sure. Look how big the charger is. It's ridiculous. Not a huge deal, but it is big, but it is really light, so at least it's light. It also comes with a mount that you can put on the front of the gimbal here for your lens. So if you have a really long lens, it'll actually support the lens. I'm not using that currently. And then it does come with dual handles. So the way the dual handles work, this guy folds up, which is nice. This fits a lot smaller in your bag. You fold it around it here, like here, wrap that, tighten it up. You take these two. Now everything has a really nice soft touch, kind of rubber coated feel. So you don't feel like it's too slippery. It's really nice in the hand. You pop these guys on, you just loosen these tabs. Everything is like made out of metal. It feels like really high quality. And then you can have a dual handle setup and you can go all around. Now this is a little much for most times, but it's cool that I have the option. It does have 5 modes. So when it first turns on, you can have it set to remember what your last setting was using the app. The app is really great. I've found no problems with it so far. So the 5 modes are, the first one is a pan follow mode. So it locks the tilt axis and the roll axis, but the pan axis is moving. That's probably the most useful. So when you're walking around generally, it won't go up and down on you. It won't get all weird. Your horizon's gonna stay exactly the same. I found it holding really well. Then the second mode that they have is pan tilt follow mode. Follow your tilt and your pan. That works out really nice too. If you're going like into a doorway and you want to tilt it, you tilt the gimbal like this, it'll follow up and it'll show what's, you know, above you. It provides a really cool view. Then the third mode that it has is an all lock mode. That'll make it so the gimbal only stays in one position. This works out really well for time lapses or anything where you just want to just stay here no matter how I move. If I'm walking down a long corridor and I want that straight shot, it's perfect for that. Then the fourth mode that it has is something called POV mode or all follow mode. So it'll actually follow your roll, your tilt, and your pan. So you can do these really cool kind of flying motions that'll you can feel like almost like a mini drone in a way. Then the fifth mode that it does have is Inception Mode or Vertigo Mode. I forgot what they actually call it, but it's basically a full Dutch angle barrel roll is what it does. A very cool effect. I think that it can be easily overused probably, but it is cool to be able to have it for certain moments. There is a standard tripod mount here on the side, so if you want to mount a monitor or connect your phone over here with like an adapter, you could do that, a light, a microphone, whatever you want. Everything is done without tools, which is very nice. These dials are much easier to turn than like the ones I had on the Feiyutech A1000, for instance. It doesn't have a quick release that it comes with, but it does have 2 slots you can reposition the camera with. Balancing it was a piece of cake though. No problems there. It has an auto calibrate mode, so if you hold down the joystick and then press the power button twice, it'll do this crazy thing where the camera actually bounces up and down, but it is basically balancing it and figuring out how strong should the motors be to be able to make the camera balance but not overbalance and not work too hard. So really cool thing to be able to do. If it's acting a little strange, I just put it on the ground, boom, 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 done. Easy peasy. So if you're looking for a budget gimbal that can still carry like a pretty heavy payload, check out the Moza Air. I hope you like it, and I'm out. It's gimbaling.